Hey, what's going on, everyone? So I've had some questions regarding the gear that I take out with me when I go fishing. If you've been watching my videos, you'll know that on any given day, I might be working shallow water for maybe calico or barracuda. And then on the same day, I might be in deeper water, like 150 feet, 250 feet, targeting rockfish. And so the one thing I try really hard not to be is pretentious and tell you like, okay, well, you have to have this $400 setup or else you're not going to be able to do what I do. Because what I do is not special. If you're willing to go out there and spend some time and energy, you can absolutely duplicate all the things that I do. And to that end, I'm going to narrow down the field to just two setups, two rod and reel setups to rule them all. And these two rods should be able to more or less cover shallow water and deeper water. And I'm going to try really hard to try to keep the cost of each setup to something around $100, maybe 150. At this point, I have a quick favor to ask. If you could hit the subscribe button and maybe the like button as well, I would really appreciate it. I'm going to kick off the discussion with the shallow water setup. And with both rods, if I had to choose one rod length, it would probably be 7.5 feet. And here's why. If you have watched the video where I fight the thresher shark, well, first of all, that's an incredible fish. So that fish fights very hard, both up and down and laterally from side to side. So 1 second, the fish can be on one side of the boat, and then a couple of seconds later, he can be on the other side of the boat. And so you're going to need a rod with enough length to easily swing the tip from one side of the bow to the other. Now, if you have a shorter rod, I mean, you can still do it, but it's going to require you to maybe lean over a little bit, especially if you have a bigger kayak, and maybe, stretch your arms out. And so going back to the lighter setup, I know that when people start out, and this was the case with me, you typically work a spinning outfit. Now, I do believe that the conventional rods and reels do offer an advantage, especially when you get into the heavier stuff. But with the lighter stuff, spinning outfits are okay. So I am back at one of my favorite online sites, which is Sierra Trading Post, www.sierra.com. Here I am highlighting the Shimano Clarus spinning rod one piece, and I'm going to choose medium heavy. And so the site tells me that at medium heavy, I am limited to 7 foot and 6.6. I'm going to choose 7 foot medium heavy. And I'm going to scroll down and click on specs. So at medium heavy, the action is fast. I do like fast action rods. I'm not going to go into that here. Line weight is 8 to 15 pounds, which is just about right if you're in shallow water chasing calicos and barracuda. So this is a good rod, and it is $50. Now with STP, always check the internet because they are constantly running coupon codes where you get 20% off, sometimes 25% off. It doesn't work for all items all the time, but often you can pick up items for even less than the advertised discounted rate. All right, let's move on to the reel. For the inexpensive spinning stuff, I do like Shimano. I think a lot of the Shimano inexpensive spinning reels are pretty good quality. So here we have the Shimano Nexave 4000. So again, about 4000 size. $40. So let's take a look at the specs. Line capacity, you're probably gonna run like 15-pound line, so you're gonna get maybe like 120 yards, which is fine. So we are at subtotal of $90, and the shipping estimate is about $12. But again, check the internet for coupon codes, because at the very least, you're going to be able to find a coupon code that gives you free shipping. So if you subtract out the shipping, you're going to be under $100 for this combination. And I think that's a pretty darn good deal. The heavier conventional rig is going to be a piece of cake. I'm going to highlight the Okuma Fishing Tackle Cortez Casting Saltwater Rod and Reel Combo. And this is a really nice rod and reel for the price. Okay, so I'm going to click on the reel. And now the rod length is 6.5 feet. So you would think, well, going from 7.5 to 6.5, I'm going to give up something. But actually not, because we're going to assume that you're going to use this rig for deep water, rockfish, and vertical stuff. Rockfish are not going to fight laterally from side to side. It's basically just you hook them and then you wind them up vertically through 200 feet of water. So the 6.5 foot rod length does not hurt you here. So this guy in the shopping cart is going to be $100 with $12 of shipping. But again, I know that there's a code out there I can apply where I can get some kind of a discount, 20-25%, and get free shipping. So this guy could arrive at my door for well under $100. That's a great deal. And then you can also, peruse the site and pick up other items like Braid and things of that nature. Great site. In terms of line, I think Braid is an absolute no-brainer. It is strong, it is abrasion resistant, and it'll last forever. So on the lighter setup, I would probably run maybe like 30-pound Braid, and then on the heavier setup, I would probably run something like 50-pound Braid. And going back to the lighter stuff, you maybe want to pick up fluorocarbon leader. So I'll typically run like maybe a 9-foot section of fluoro leader. And so for the lighter setup, I would maybe run like 15 pounds. And then for the heavier setup, I might run something like 30 or 40 pounds. You want to run a lighter leader so that if something gets hung up, the leader will break first and save yourself the expensive Braid. To sum it up, those two combinations are going to give you a lot of flexibility. Again, everything that you have watched me do on YouTube, you can do if you have those two combinations. For example, you could take the spinning outfit and go to the beach and try to catch perch. If you grow as a fisherman and you want to go chase big fish, you could do it with the heavy outfit. It wouldn't be ideal, but you could do it. I mean, it's not like you'd be trying to eat soup with a fork. So there you have it. I'm going to summarize it with something of a matrix. Assuming that you are working with a budget like we all are, and your budget is $500, I would probably spend $300 on a nice fish finder with a 5-inch screen. So you can split between navigation and sonar. And being able to split the screen and see both is really efficient. And then spend $200 on the rods and reels that I mentioned. If you have a $400 budget, again, I would go with the nicer fish finder, $300, and then I would spend $100 on just one of the rod reel setups, and then just save for the other one. If your budget is $300, I would spend $200 on a decent fish finder with maybe like a 4-inch screen, and then again spend $100 on one of the rods and reels. As you can see, I put a lot of emphasis on the fish finder because I think it's important. Having a nice fish finder is going to have a much bigger impact in terms of putting fish in the boat than rods and reels. Okay, that brings us to the end of this video. As always, thank you for dropping by. I appreciate you. Get out there and have fun, be safe, and we will see you soon. Bye for now.